If you're still saving money, then you are in trouble because money is not designed to be saved. You are not its savior. Money is meant to work. You are the employer and your job is to give money a job. It needs to be working for you and not you working for money. If you're constantly and still working for money, then that means that you're going to keep on working and you will not be able to retire. Instead, you need to be able to allow money, let money work for you so that you can rest and have the option to retire when you want. This is not lazy. No, this is the system that was built and that's how the system was designed. It was designed for money to work for people. Rather, we've been put into some box of making us work for money and keep us enslaved working for money. That's not how it should be. Welcome back to the show. Welcome back to Anxious for Nothing. If you're new here, my name is Bimpe and I'm so glad to have you here. Quick recap. Last week we talked about the pain, and the pain was knowing that if you stopped working, then you would actually go broke. Whereas today we're going to map out the strategy and talk about what we're going to be doing in order to resolve that issue. And to resolve it, we are going to build. Yes, we're going to build. And in today's episode, we're going to be tackling the mindset that we need to have in order to build. And this is the shift that I made in order to make financial consistency a reality for me. And it starts with naming what each pound needs to do. What job are you going to give each pound or each dollar that you are earning? So have you ever ended a month, or for some of us, it might even be at the beginning of the month, as soon as payday hits, just wondering, where did the money go? And you've not that you've been extravagant or flamboyant with the money, but the money's just gone. Now you're thinking, oh my gosh, I just got paid, but my account is already in red. Where did all the money go? Have you ever felt like that? Is that how you're feeling now? Has that ever happened to you? That happened to me. So I decided to do an audit. I needed to find out where my money was going because I was thinking, like, what's happening? I've just got paid and it just feels as if the money's flying everywhere. So I did an audit. I went through my accounts for the last 3 months and just pinpointed and looked at exactly where I was spending the money and made sure that I was accountable for everything. And I saw that there were subscriptions coming up my account that I'd forgot to cancel. You get these subscriptions that you sign up for and you might have paid for it for like a year or so because, for me, I tend to pay for things yearly because it always works out cheaper. And then I forget. And then all of a sudden that subscription would just come out of my account unknowingly. That's bit me in the bum so many times. And then also when I did my audit and went through my account, I saw that there were actually places where I could save money. Like for me, I've been with EE for like over 20 years, These people have made money off me. So it's time for me to call them and say, look, you need to give me some discounts. You need to do me some loyalty points because otherwise I'm going to shift somewhere else. I mean, this is just some of the few things that I found. And I'm sure that if you went through your accounts over the last month, at least, ideally 3 months. But, if you've done 2 weeks, well done. That's good. It's a start. It's better than doing nothing. And I'm sure you'd have also found that there are some things coming out that, you didn't know were coming out that you'd forgotten about, or you've seen places where you could also save money or reduce costs. One of the hacks that I do is I pay my car insurance yearly. I don't pay it monthly because it's a lot cheaper that way. And I also realized that my money was sitting idle in some cases, in some places, like aside from saving for a holiday or saving for a trip or saving to buy the car or the house, I realized that I was also I'll go out and I'll just be like, let me just buy this. And in my mind, I'll be like, oh, it's small. It's just £20. It's just this. It's just that. But that over a period of long time really did build up. And the reason that was happening was because I hadn't assigned a job for the money. So the money was just sitting there waiting for whatever somebody else's poor planning became my emergency for me to give them the money to do. So one action I took that has helped me a lot was I created several different accounts that had several different jobs and things that it was tasked to do for my money. And my husband always teases me saying, why do you have so many accounts? Why do you have so many accounts? But you know what? Each of those accounts are doing different jobs. They're working different things for me. And having these accounts have taken away my need to be disciplined. I don't need to be disciplined anymore because everything is working on automation and everything is working on a decision that I had made earlier that by 60, I want to be able to have the option to retire if I want to. So basically, your money is your team. You are the team leader. You need to tell it what to do. and you need to tell it what you want it to give you. So for me, like I mentioned earlier, I have several accounts, and those accounts are doing different jobs. I have my cash ISA that doesn't penalize me for taking money out whenever I like. And that cash ISA, I use it to hold all the things that I need to pay off yearly. So for example, my car insurance, my home insurance, all those yearly subscriptions, yearly payments that I make to save money. Then I have another cash ISA, and this one rewards me for not taking money out. And in there is saved my 3 to 6 months worth of salary money as an emergency fund should anything happen. And the money there is also working because it's in a higher rate cash ISA that gives me more interest and rewards me for not taking that money out over the course of the year. Then I have another account. That one is my stocks and shares dividend account. This account is purely there for creating dividends, and whatever dividends that this account produces is used to fund my LISA account. And my LISA account, like I said in my earlier episode last week, is the account that is going to form part of my retirement funds. And I also have a high interest rate current account. So this current account pays interest on my salary. So as soon as my salary hits that account, I am being paid interest. And I also have, there's quite a lot on it, upon doing it, it's too much. I also have an account for all my direct debits and standing orders go into that account. These are for fixed direct debits and standing orders. Things like mobile phone, broadband, that is fixed, that is the same every single month. And I have a certain amount of money that gets automated, puts into there every single month to pay off those bills. So as a result, my whole process is automated. I'm not having to rely on discipline in order to maintain it. And I know exactly where all my money is going, and I know exactly what job there I've been given to do. And then when I first started doing this, I was checking it every week. Then as I got better, I started checking it every 2 weeks. Then as I got more and more better, I check it like once a month now for like 10, 15 minutes. I don't spend that much on it now because I know exactly where all my money's going. I know how it's been spent, and I make sure that everything is being used effectively. So I'm not thinking at the end of the month now or the beginning of the month, where did all the money go? And what I want to say here is once the process starts getting repetitive and starts getting boring, that's when you know you've hit gold and you've made it and you've hit that target. So there's this thing here called behavioral economics, and it's the concept of mental accounting. And it's to say that we treat money differently depending on what we've labeled it. So it's so important for us to give our money a job, give it a label. So if your money doesn't have a label, doesn't have a target, you will just use it anyhow. Anybody that asks you, oh yeah, Ejo, Ebami, give me this, help me with that, you will just give it out to them because you've not given it a label, you've not given it a job or a task to do. And then finally, there's another thing here called the power of automation in building financial habits by a person called BJ Fogg. And this is the work on tiny habits, automation systems that you can put in place to make sure that you remove that mental fatigue and remove that friction of not doing it. I mean, if you have to physically think, oh, I have to move money here, move money there, it builds up a lot of mental load. Whereas if you've worked it all out once and you know that this account is my standing order account, and every month the bills that go into this account comes up to £700 a month. And then you just know that every month £700 is going into that account as standard, automated, and it's taking care of your light bill, it's taking care of your phone bill, water bill, kids sports, extracurricular activities, kids tutorial, whatever it is. All of that has been taken care of and you don't need to think about it. But also more importantly, which I want you to make sure that you also automate, is your investments as well. Have a fixed amount that's been automated straight into your investment account every month so that you're not having to think, oh, let me use the money for this, let me use the money for that. No, the money has gone, it's been assigned, and it's going to start working for you and creating dividends. And here is a nice Bible verse for you. So this is taken from Proverbs 24. 3-4. And it says here that by wisdom, a house is built, and through understanding, it is established, and through knowledge, its rooms are filled with rare and beautiful treasures and things. So this is really good. So this says, having a structure in place enables you to have that abundance because you've got everything all structured. You've got that load off your mind. Things are being taken care of, and you are making your money work for you instead of just saving it or just trying to do this, not knowing what job it has. Give your money a job. That's what it's there to do. It's there to work for you. The freedom is not just financial, it can be experiential too. For example, with Jesus Christ, he's given us that freedom from guilt and condemnation. And for me, freedom is also the ability to travel and decide when I want to be able to stop working. And I just want to point out that, planning trips, planning holidays uses the same mental muscle that you would use in order to plan your finances and organize your finances. You need to have a vision, decide on your budget, and then work towards it. So my vision is to be able to take trips, go on holidays that my salary has not paid for, but rather the business that I've started has paid for it. And I also want to build a community of like-minded people that believe and want the same as well. If this sounds like you, this is something that you want to be able to do and achieve, do reach out to me on TikTok or on Instagram and DM me, and I can give you more details. So the action point for this week is I want you to go and give your accounts a name. Go and give them a job. What is your job? This account's job is to pay off all my direct debits. This account's job is to prepare me for retirement. This account's job is for X. Go and name all your accounts. Give them all a job. This account is for the holiday, the trip that I'm planning for. Name all your accounts. That's our task for this week. So next week, I'm going to be showing you how you can automate all of this and how my dividends are actually doing the work for me. The manual work that I used to do, my dividends are doing that work for me, which is so cool. So it gets better. If you have not subscribed and you've been listening up until now, please do subscribe, share with friends or family. You can find me on YouTube. You can find me on Spotify. You can also find me on Apple Podcasts. Thank you so much for your time today. And remember, you are anxious for nothing. And when you win, everyone's going to win.